Welcome scholars and enthusiasts to a journey back in time. Today, we delve into the tumultuous era of medieval Europe. Picture a time when the fall of the Roman Empire had left a power vacuum across Europe. This was a period spanning the 5th to the 15th centuries, an epoch marked by ceaseless conflict, political upheaval, and the rise of new powers. Kingdoms rose and fell, empires expanded and contracted, and the stage was set for some of the most monumental battles in history. In this era, the political climate was as unpredictable as the weather. The intricate dance of diplomacy and deceit was as crucial as brute force in determining the fate of nations. Alliances were formed and broken, kingdoms were betrayed, and leaders were overthrown, painting a vivid tapestry of human ambition and resilience. Yet, amid this chaos, one factor remained constant: the significance of military might. Armies were the backbone of every empire, the shield against invaders, and the sword that carved out territories. The strength of an army could elevate a kingdom to unparalleled heights, or bring about its swift downfall. From the chivalrous knights of the West to the fierce horsemen of the East, each force had its unique strategies, weaponry, and warrior ethos that set them apart. The medieval battlefield was a crucible where these forces clashed, shaping the course of history. Now prepare to march through time as we uncover the top 10 European armies of the medieval era. First on our list, we encounter the Carolingian Franks. Emerging from the ashes of the Roman Empire, the Carolingian dynasty, under the leadership of Charlemagne, forged a new kind of military force. They were a blend of heavy cavalry and disciplined infantry, a combination that proved to be devastatingly effective. Their military strategies were innovative for the time. They mastered the art of the feigned retreat, luring their enemies into a trap, then turning and delivering a crushing blow. Another key tactic was their use of fortified camps, which provided them with a secure base from which to launch their raids. Their power was demonstrated in key victories such as the Battle of Tours, where they halted the advance of the Umayyad Caliphate into Europe. This victory marked a turning point in European history, cementing the Franks' place as a dominant military force. Their influence, unquestionably, set the stage for the armies that followed. Next, we sail north to the fearsome Vikings. Originating from the Scandinavian region, this seafaring civilization carved a name for themselves through their unique naval strategies. Their longships, sleek and quick, were technological marvels of their time, allowing the Vikings to navigate both open seas and shallow rivers with ease. What truly set the Vikings apart, however, was their influence on Europe. These weren't just raiders and traders. The Vikings were settlers, establishing communities from the British Isles to as far as Russia and the Byzantine Empire. They brought with them their culture, their language, and their Norse religion, leaving an indelible mark on the regions they touched. And let's not forget the fear they instilled in their enemies. The mere sight of a Viking longship on the horizon was enough to strike terror into the heart of even the bravest warrior. The Vikings, with their seafaring prowess, forever changed the face of warfare. We now cross the English Channel to meet the Normans. Originating from the northernmost region of France, the Normans were renowned for their military prowess and knack for innovation. In the 11th century, they undertook one of the most significant military campaigns in history, the Norman Conquest. Their victory at the Battle of Hastings in 1066 marked the beginning of Norman rule in England. The Normans were trailblazers in military strategy. They introduced the concept of chivalry, a code of conduct for knights, and they revolutionized castle design, fortifying their territories with ringwork and bailey castles. Their heavy cavalry, consisting of armored knights on horseback, was virtually unmatched. Their impact was not just confined to England. The Normans left their mark on Europe through their conquests and cultural exchanges, influencing everything from language to architecture. Their legacy is still tangible today, shaping the Europe we know and love. The Normans, their legacy etched into the history of Europe. Traveling east, we encounter the Byzantine Empire. At its height, this empire was a powerhouse of military innovation, with a structured organization that was truly ahead of its time. The Byzantine military was divided into thematic armies, each guarding a specific region. This allowed for swift response and adaptability in the face of invasion. One of their most infamous contributions to warfare was Greek fire. This mysterious weapon, a sort of medieval napalm, could continue burning even on water. It was a game changer in naval warfare, instilling terror in the hearts of the empire's enemies. The Byzantine Empire's influence spread far across the eastern Mediterranean. Their military strategies, technologies, and architectural fortifications set the standard for defense and warfare. Their influence is still felt today in the remnants of their grand creations and the echoes of their military doctrine. The Byzantines, a beacon of military ingenuity in a turbulent era. Heading back north, we meet the Teutonic Knights. A military order unlike any other, the Teutonic Knights were formed in the late 12th century during the Siege of Acre. They took monastic vows but also pledged to crusade against the pagan tribes in the Baltic region. Their mission? To Christianize the region by the sword. These knights were not only monks but battle-hardened warriors. With their distinctive white mantles emblazoned with a black cross, they were a formidable sight on the battlefield. They fought with a fervor that came from their religious conviction, making them a force to be reckoned with. Their crusades in the Baltic were relentless. They built castles, founded towns, and introduced Christianity to the region. Their influence was so profound that it shaped the course of history in Northern Europe. The Teutonic Knights, a military order that left an indelible mark on Europe. Venturing further east, we encounter the Mongols. Emerging from the vast steppes of Central Asia, they unleashed a wave of invasions that shook medieval Europe to its core. The Mongols were famed for their exceptional horseback archery, a skill cultivated from a young age. This distinctive warfare technique enabled them to strike with lethal precision while maintaining mobility, confounding the more static European armies. Their reputation often preceded them, instilling fear and dread into the hearts of their adversaries. Stories of their ferocity, speed, and mercilessness spread like wildfire, often causing panic and disorder even before their arrival. But it wasn't just their military prowess that was notable. Their ability to assimilate and adapt, incorporating the techniques and technologies of the cultures they conquered, made them a uniquely formidable force. The Mongols were not merely an army, they were a phenomenon, an unstoppable tide that transformed the landscape of medieval Europe. The Mongols, a force of nature that swept across the continent. We now move south to the powerful Ottoman Empire. Emerging from the tussles of Anatolian beyliks in the late 13th century, the Ottoman Empire rapidly expanded its territories under a line of strategic and visionary leaders. By the 16th century, they had become a transcontinental domain, straddling Europe, Asia, and Africa. A pivotal factor in their ascendancy was their early adoption of gunpowder. The Ottomans swiftly exploited this new technology, utilizing it to forge formidable artillery units that were integral in their siege warfare. Their use of massive cannons, such as the one famously deployed during the Siege of Constantinople in 1453, revolutionized warfare and sent shockwaves through the European continent. These sieges, particularly the fall of Constantinople, marked a turning point in European history, shifting the balance of power and leaving an indelible imprint on the region's geopolitics. The Ottoman Empire, a rising power that would shape the future of Europe. Heading back to the heart of Europe, we meet the Swiss Confederacy. Born out of a need for self-defense, the Swiss Confederacy became renowned for its military prowess during the Middle Ages. At the heart of their army were the Swiss pikemen. These soldiers, armed with their signature long spears, were the backbone of the Swiss forces, forming an impenetrable wall of pointed steel that could halt cavalry charges and break enemy lines. The Swiss Confederacy wasn't content to simply defend their borders, though. They implemented military reforms that increased their effectiveness on the battlefield. They developed an innovative tactic known as the pike square, a formation of pikemen that proved devastatingly effective against larger, more traditional forces. These tactics led to a series of impressive victories against larger foes, including the Habsburgs and the Burgundians, solidifying the Swiss Confederacy's reputation as a military force to be reckoned with. The Swiss Confederacy, a small nation with a formidable army. Finally, we sailed to the Spanish Empire. This robust empire began to take shape in the late 15th century with the union of Castile and Aragon, two powerful medieval kingdoms. It was an era of exploration, conquest, and unprecedented global influence. The Spanish Empire's military prowess was largely due to its innovative use of the tercio, a mixed infantry formation that combined pikemen, swordsmen, and arquebusiers in a cohesive, highly effective unit. This unique setup, often likened to a battlefield chessboard, was a game-changer in medieval warfare. Their impact was not only felt on the battlegrounds of Europe. The Spanish Empire extended its reach to the Americas, Asia, and Africa, marking the first time a European power had such a widespread global presence. This expansion played a pivotal role in the cultural, political, and economic development of these regions. The Spanish Empire, a global power that brought the medieval period to a close. From the Carolingian Franks to the Spanish Empire, we've journeyed through the top 10 armies of medieval Europe. We've seen their might, their strategies, their triumphs, and their downfalls. Each army has indelibly shaped the course of European history, leaving footprints that still echo in the present day. Their stories remind us of the complexities of power, the intricacies of warfare, and the ever-changing nature of human societies. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. Stay curious and keep exploring the annals of history.